some suspicious circumstances.
Yes, workplace violence with some suspicious circumstances, but workplace violence nonetheless. President Obama?
I think I'm real sympathetic.
Oh, yes, certainly. You are certainly sympathetic.
Someone should get to the bottom of that.
Oh, someone should get to the bottom of that. You don't say.
Reported as an accident.
Yes, it was reported as an accident or workplace violence, at least. Anyway, so I'm thankful for that. Also thankful that we have, of course, the crowning achievement of the Obama administration, first and second terms, Harry Care. And I call this Harry Care because, well, a lot of people call it Obamacare, and that is an unfortunate misnomer because President Obama did not have a health reform plan. In fact, he mocked Hillary Clinton during the presidential campaign because she had the audacity, and yes, the president loves the word audacity, she had the audacity to suggest an individual mandate would have to be part of any healthcare overhaul. He mocked her during the campaign and said that would be like the federal government saying that home ownership is down in a certain area, so these people have to buy homes, or else the federal government will step in. That was his comeback there at Hillary Clinton's suggestion of an individual mandate. So keep in mind, the president did not have a healthcare reform plan at all. The plan that was pushed through the Senate, when they had 60 votes but could only muster 50, was Harry Reid's bill with the Cornhusker kickback and Gatorade and the mass care exemption and the Louisiana Purchase and all of these other bribes, flat out, straight up, in the open bribes that were put in to buy the votes of senators in order to pass the bill through the Senate. And likewise, the bribes and kickbacks that were put into the bill in the House version before it passed the House of Representatives, that Nancy Pelosi used to buy the votes of several Democrats, including a couple in the Central Valley of California. And she said, hey, if you vote for this bill, we'll turn the water back on. To hell with the Delta smelt once we get Harry Care, don't you know? And of course that hasn't actually come to fruition, has it? But anyway, let me see, what else do we have here? Well, yeah, as far as Harry Care goes, you know, you can blame Harry Reid for putting in kickbacks, you can blame Nancy Pelosi for promising things to Democrat House members to get that thing passed, but as the president says,
there was a lot of blame to go around.
Yes, there was, and there still is, but be that as it may, let me see. Yeah, so Harry Care, we have that whole thing. Oh, back to terrorism. I am thankful this Thanksgiving that we have a president of the United States of America that would instruct his Attorney General to attempt to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, one of the masterminds of 9/11, to attempt to try him in civilian court in New York City, just blocks from Ground Zero. I'm thankful that we have a president and an attorney general that thought that would be such a good idea, and an American electorate that would not only elect such a man in the first place to the highest office in our land, but see fit to re-elect him. I'm also thankful that we have a president who would appoint 2 Supreme Court justices, one of whom banned military recruiters from the campus of Harvard. that would appoint and get his appointments through those two justices to the Supreme Court, Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. I'm thankful that we have a president that would do that, and furthermore, I'm thankful that we have an American electorate that saw fit to give the Senate majority leadership to Harry Reid, who would guide those two Supreme Court nominees through the Senate confirmation process as well. And I'm also thankful that we have an American electorate that would put Republicans in the Senate that have so little of a spine that they would allow the confirmation of these two Supreme Court justices. Yes, very, very thankful this Thanksgiving that we have all of that. Now, let me see. You know, and it's not like we didn't know who this guy was, after all. See, we have a lot of information on this President Obama that has been out there for a very long time, even before he was elected the first time around, but we had an American electorate that chose to ignore what they knew. For example, this is an interview that Barack Obama gave in 1995. And let's hear what he has to say. I've cut it into two parts.
At times of economic scarcity, generally the politicians in this country right now want to look for scapegoats, want to organize around race as opposed to around principle and around values. And I think that's a mistake, and I think that can be countered, but it's going to require the kinds of grassroots mobilization and the kinds of work at a local level that I think I talk about a lot in those chapters on Chicago.
Wonderful man there, Reverend Wright.
Right, and
Yeah.
who is my pastor, and he is a wonderful man, and I think that's an example of he's a pastor of a large congregation in Chicago, and one of the interesting things that I discover in my journey to discover what my identity is and who my father is also discovering sort of my own faith, which is not necessarily a traditional faith. I don't come out of an institutionalized religious setting, but
Oh, well, how nice. So let's see. Politicians tend to, especially in bad economic times, politicians tend to focus on race, and he doesn't think that's a good idea. Well, now. Oh, and of course, Reverend Wright, such a good man, and I don't really have a traditional faith. So we knew all of this about this man from 1995 on. 13 years before he was elected president. But yet, again, I'm thankful this year, this Thanksgiving, that we have an American electorate that would see fit to give him not one, but two terms, because he went on.
What becomes important to me as I work with churches in the south side of Chicago and low-income neighborhoods is to realize that all the stories and songs of the church, the hope that is embodied in the church, the sense of liberation that is embodied in the historical African American church is really something that moves me deeply, and I think is probably the main pillar around which a lot of inner cities communities are going to be built. And Reverend Wright, my pastor, who I speak about in a chapter in the book, I think represents the best of what the black church has to offer.
Oh, well, there you go. He certainly does. So, just throwing that out there again. That was from 1995. and yet we saw fit to elect him to the highest office in our land, as well we should have. And again, I'm thankful for that. Now we also have a president, and I'm thankful for it, that supported the quote-unquote Arab Spring. Yes, the Arab Spring over in Egypt and especially in Libya.
I can no more disown
Colonel Gaddafi
than I can disown the Muslim community.
Yes, exactly. So, well, that was before the Arab Spring broke out, of course. And then all of a sudden he could disown Colonel Gaddafi, and apparently in favor of certain aspects of the Muslim community that are perhaps a bit less traditional, Obama might say.
I think the opportunity is that when you have the kinds of young people who were in Tahrir Square feeling that they have hope and they have opportunity, then they're less likely to channel all their frustrations into anti-Israeli sentiment or anti-Western sentiment.
Right. Yeah, and that was early on during the uprising in Tahrir Square, and of course now we've seen over the last couple of days rockets fired from Egypt into Israel. So, way to go, Mr. President, and way to go, American people, for electing him not once but twice. Just one of a long litany of things to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, for sure. I don't see how we wouldn't be thankful for that, for having such a great man as our president, for 8 full years.
That's how I feel tonight.
Yes, that's how I feel every night. We have a great man in the White House, and I'm thankful that we have seen fit to elect him again. So thank you. I'm very, very thankful for that. Also thankful that we have a president who would support the energy of the future, the wave of the future, green technology like Solyndra, where the American people are out $530-some million, and of course Light Squared. We can't forget Light Squared, and all of the millions of dollars that the American people are out. Oh, and Fisker, the electric car company that is now in, where is it? Denmark, Sweden, one of those Scandinavian countries where every penny of that taxpayer money went. So it's a good thing all around. Using taxpayer dollars to support this green energy that can't even support itself.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. But what are you gonna do? Then yeah, but again, I mean, we have to support these green technologies.
And we could spend as much as we wanted.
Yes, we can spend as much as we want. It's not like
We have a deficit that needs to be paid down.
Oh, well, crap. Well, shoot. Maybe we should be making better decisions about about where taxpayer money goes then, if we have a deficit that needs to be paid down.
Work with me here.
Okay, well, we'll